Hey guys, I'm Alina with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. Today, we celebrate Saint Jean Eudes, born in 1601, Normandy, France. This ambitious saint was raised in a farmer's family, but at the age of 14, he left to study to become a priest. Shortly after his ordination, the dreaded plague struck France. Because it was so contagious, nobody wanted to care for the infected. Nobody, that is, except good old Jean. While he cared for the sick, he lived in a cider barrel outside the city walls to avoid getting his religious brothers ill. St. John was a gifted preacher and confessor. By the age of 32, he was traveling France and giving parish missions. He cared so much for these parishes that sometimes he stayed there 4 to 20 weeks at a time, just helping the souls of the parish to grow in their faith. However, when he would return to visit after an extended time, he was disappointed to find that the parishioners had fallen lax again. John realized this was mainly due to the priests themselves being poorly formed and ill-equipped to handle educating their flock. You see, back then, there were not seminaries. Ever heard of the term hocus pocus? This phrase was derived during this time because of the major errors in the Mass being passed from priest to priest. Even though the Council of Trent had ordered seminaries to be used, they were still few and far between. But thanks to Jean, he helped bring seminaries to France and Normandy. Okay, on another completely random note, are there any Les Mis fans out there? If you remember the character Fantine, you know her unfortunate tale. She's a single mother who is fired from her factory job through no fault of her own. In order to provide for her daughter, she hesitantly enters into prostitution, believing it was the only way to keep her child alive. Throughout the ages, so many women have been forced into the horrors of that life. St. John saw the plight of these women during their confessions, and his heart was so moved that he actually started houses of refuge to help these women get off the streets and change their lives. He also founded the Sisters of Our Lady of Charity of the Refuge, today known as the Good Shepherd Sisters, who continued his mission of bringing these lost sheep home. St. Jean Eudes died in 1680 and was canonized by Pope Pius XI in 1925, and could potentially become a doctor of the Church. The example of this man taking action is so convicting to me. Rather than sit on the sidelines waiting for someone else to make changes, Jean took initiative and started those seminaries. He opened those houses of refuge for women in need. He saw a need, and he answered it with action rather than despair or passing the buck. So often we're inundated with our own troubles and worries that we forget to look around us. Take a moment today to step back from the busyness of your life and open your heart to see what God is calling you to do. Our unique stories of sainthood are yet to be written, so keep going. St. John believes in you. St. Jean Eudes, ora pro nobis.